Hello and welcome to NN Driven. I just received 13.2.7, and so I thought we would go for a run here around the big loop. That's the 100-mile loop around Northern Virginia, DC, and Maryland, and see how 13.2.7 does. I haven't run the big loop in a long time, probably since at least version, 11, probably even before then. I'll check out when I get home. And so it should do quite a lot different than any other previous run. There's still a lot of really difficult things here. Just struggled here with this dirt road. Thinks there's objects in path. I'm just going to see if it can work its way out of this. It's just a dirt road. Well, it got it. Glad there was no one else around. Okay, we're coming right on up to the main road here. I'm just going to let it go here. This is a long route with a lot of really interesting and difficult scenarios. So I still expect to have to disengage a couple of times, and we'll see where those are. There are mapping problems, there are HOV lane problems, there are weird turnaround problems. It's going to go. Okay, that's fine. But just out of the gate here, we're starting in Springfield. We're going to go up 495 and do a return back. That return is really tricky. So for these test runs, I've got FSD set just as Tesla recommends. So it's got the 40% over auto max speed limit. I expect I will have to throttle that back somewhere at least once along this route, because at least around DC, the car tends to drive way too fast in many occasions. Personally, I set it to no more than 20% over for my daily driving. And then I've got it on standard mode here, which you can see right here. For this run, I think that's just the best route to use. Standard is standard, and we'll see how it does. Hopefully it won't get in the left lane, staying stuck in the left lane. Hopefully it'll move around cars, which it all tends to do. Our first mapping problem is right here in front of us. You can see it's got the left turn blinker on. I'm going to let it do it. I won't count this yet. Or actually, I'm going to count this as a mapping issue. But the correct way to go is actually to the right. The sign says for north 495, go to the right. It doesn't. It is going to the left, which is now going to make its life miserable up here because it's got to get across 4 lanes of traffic in almost no time. So that's the first mapping problem that causes a real downstream problem for the vehicle, because now it has to act much more aggressively than it otherwise would. If it went the correct way, it would just be coming out in the correct lane already. There's a car sitting right on our corner. It's going to go, okay. Now it's got to go one more and then one more again. Is it going to make it? It's going to make it, I think. Okay. So no intervention there, but certainly it sure would be nice to have a mapping. These mapping issues need to get fixed. It's like why we've been reporting these forever and they never get fixed. It's so weird. Okay, now we're just going to run up. This road comes up here, and like all these lanes merge over, and then we have to merge over. I'll just throughout this drive, I will fast forward whenever it's kind of boring. For now, I'm going to let us run real time until we get through these merges up here. All previous versions tended to struggle and stay in the merging lane right until it got forced over, which is really awkward and uncomfortable because you really didn't know what it was going to do if cars were around. Version 13 has been much better about merging in an intelligent way and getting out of the merge lane whenever it's relevant and appropriate to do so. In fact, here it's already moving over. That's great. The truck here was signaled, but then stopped. Let's see what we do here. We can still go over another lane. got an emergency vehicle coming up. Yep, so, oh look, so FSD actually slowed down and gave him a little room. We got emergency vehicle behind us. He's got plenty of room over. We're moving forward. He's not going overly fast. He's still right behind us though. Put my mirror up so you might see him flashing back there. So we are rapidly getting into the land of like we should be doing something else. Okay, he's coming up. So car is showing no reaction at all to the emergency vehicle. We've got to be over a lane here. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to get rid of my mirror here. Alrighty. Get rid of my waypoint here. Ah, no, I don't want to do that. Let's see if I can force it here quick. See if I can get it quick enough. Yep. Whew. Okay, there we go. Another lesson learned there. These waypoints are super tricky to get in when you're trying to force it to do an awkward maneuver. So this is what we want to do. Get ready to get rid of that waypoint. Yep, that's what we want to do. So up here now we have to get across 3 lanes to get over to this left turn lane. It's got to cross a white line to do that. In the past, it's always just gotten over, it's like it doesn't know how many lanes it has to get over. It gets over 3 lanes, but not all the way to the left turn lane. So let's see what it does here. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. So far, so good. It's going to do it today. Wow, that's the first. That's a first. Holy cow. All right, so now we can go if traffic allows. Okay, it thinks it can go. It looks like it can. Very good. Now I'm just super, that's super cool. I didn't think we would, I thought it'd be a lot longer before we figured that turn lane out. So that is a big improvement. That is, no other version of FSD has ever gotten it right, ever. Not once, ever. Did not need to move to the right lane here. So that's a bit awkward. I'm going to call that one still learning. That's why did it need to do that? Other versions have not done that. So that was a bit awkward. All right, so now we're just going to go up here and we're going to go up 395. We have to be over, I believe, 2 lanes here. Okay. There's 1 lane, 2 lanes. I think we're good here. Now we're going to go up and around. Now here I need to have the HOV lanes turned off, because if I have them turned on, it's going to try to use the HOV lanes on 395, and I don't want to use the HOV lanes. I don't have to pay for it. There's no traffic, and there's no way in the navigation system to select the route without the HOV lane. If you've got HOV lanes turned on, it's just going to naturally go to that route, and doesn't even give you an option for the non-HOV lanes. Actually, I should test that. I haven't tested that in a while. So I've got HOV lanes turned off right now, but I'm going to have to turn them on later on because there's a road that Maps thinks is HOV lanes, but it's not during that time of day. So you still have to have it on to route because it thinks you're going on a HOV lane. So we'll do that. That's I-66 outbound when we get to it. All right, so now we're just going to go up 395. I'm going to stay in real time here until we get onto the merge onto 395. And then we will probably be able to fast forward up till Shirlington, but we'll see. So far, so good. As you can see, we're going pretty quickly, but this is that's the speed that people drive on this road. So 65 does not bother me for this road. All right, I should be able to get rid of my waypoint. Should take us up to Shirlington. Yep. Okay, just up ahead here, these two lanes collapse into one. The center lane just kind of goes away and they just slowly merge. It's kind of really weird. We have no one behind us and no one to interact with here. But all versions of version 13, have done really well at this kind of what can be an awkward merge because the lane stays wide enough for two vehicles for a very long time. And so you're not really sure where you need to absolutely need to create the merge. Version 13 here has also done really good at this merge onto 395. All previous versions would wait forever. They would actually move over to the right instead of hugging this left lane. It now stays hugged to this lane marking and then gets out of this exit lane as quickly as it should, rather than waiting until way up to the end, which is really the exit lane. Only the jerk drivers do that. So that's been solved, and that's a really big advancement. All right, just going to come back to real time here. The cars were coming up behind us for the first time, and as soon as there was the gap, the car got over. That is really nice. Did not impede this guy at all. Even though we were going quite fast, they're even going faster. All right, that was pretty good. This is a little bit earlier than we maybe had to get in, but this is actually really good because the traffic was pretty dense there and I didn't see an opening up in front. So I'm actually really happy with that decision to get into this lane now. No qualms about that one at all. All right, we've got this utility van coming in here. He has to merge. That was fine. We really have the right of way there, so we should keep going. They have the responsibility to merge, and it didn't flinch, it didn't move, just kept its ground and kept moving forward. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to move over here. This is a big sort of roundabout kind of thing. So here we go. We've got one more lane to go over. Okay, there's the exit. Did not signal there, but certainly was the obvious choice. Okay, how are we going to do on speed through here? Now up here coming around the left, they have a white line indicating that you're really not supposed to go all the way over to the right turn lane as shown here, but everyone does it. So what the map is showing is what we really should do, even though the lane markings are not really telling us to do that. See what it does here. It's got to go. It's got to go quick. See if it makes it. Look at that. It waited till the end of the... Wow. Ha! How about that? Okay, that was very good. That's what all humans do, so that was the perfect thing, even if it's not what the traffic engineers intend you to do. Okay, now we're going to come up here, turn left. As soon as we get turning left here, I'm going to have the left turn arrow. The pedestrian is holding their ground. Okay, we're on our way. I should be able to get rid of this waypoint. Okay, now we're going to come up here. We're going to make a left. What we're trying to do is get up into this little neighborhood called Arlington. It's got really tight roads with some weird stop signs, and we're just gonna wind our way through there to get back onto 395. This is just to test kind of tight confines. I didn't really have a tight confines part of this big loop when I created it. So just as some background here, this is the loop I created back in 2018, probably 2017. Why is it doing this? Okay, there's no stop sign there. Oh, okay, I'm going to intervene. There, I don't. Oh, then she started crossing on me. Oh, that was weird. Okay, I think it should have went through there. She was still crossing the road, and then I got flustered, and I should have waited for her after she started to cross. So that was a bit of an awkward human-machine interaction there. I'm going to put that one, I think, in still learning. This intersection has changed a lot. There used to be a left turn signal here. There is no longer a left turn signal. Yeah, so anyway, this big loop goes back to maybe 2017 when I just had AP1, and that was still advancing. And but they were just starting to release the first versions of FSD back then. So I started testing this loop with autopilot only, and that went through iterations of being able to see stop signs and then see traffic lights, and then do a few more things here and there. But then, of course, it eventually hit its limit. So I've been testing this all along. And, early on, you couldn't go hardly a couple of miles without, having to use the gas pedal or engage the steering wheel or whatever it was. And just relentlessly, little things get added in each and every version. And so far now, apart from that interaction I just had, which I probably should have let go and not intervened, haven't had to touch the steering wheel or the gas pedal. All right, look at that, how smooth that was. It kept rolling even though the dually was sort of blocking our view. Really continued to show intent, smooth, really just the way you would like to do that, just the way a human would do it. Okay, we got a stop sign here. We're going to turn right. Okay. The more I think about it, I'm just going to let that one go as an aberration back there for that pedestrian. I just don't know. I'm going to have to come through there again on my own sometime when I'm in the area and just see what it does when there's no pedestrian there. Because there's a stop for pedestrian sign, but there's no stop sign. Okay, so we're going to go left here, and we're going to navigate through Arlington. Earlier versions of FSD really struggled with this. They wouldn't see that stop sign, and they would just go barreling through here. There, it just handled it just perfectly. So now we see it on the road, 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. The car is showing 25. The road signs are showing 20, so there's a mapping problem again. So maybe that's mapping problem 2, I guess. Okay. Very good, that's fine. It's all very tight here. Okay, this is awkward. Call this one a still learning moment. Yeah, it's creeping up here. It didn't do it wrong, but it was way off. It was slowing down way too soon. Not horrible. Didn't require me to intervene. Okay, we're going to make a little right turn here. There was, for a long time, this bridge was under construction, which would have been fun to see this FSD go through here with that construction. Don't get that chance now. This is really tight through here. Hopefully the car will go slow. 24 feels pretty good through here. All right, taking a look, looks clear to the left. Now up here there are technically 2 lanes, and you can turn right on red, but this car is not going to really let us do that anyway. So this guy's going to come across, left him room. Okay, here we go. I don't know why they did this, but somewhere in the last version or 2, Tesla took away the ability to add lots of waypoints. You can now only add 8 or 9 at a time. So for those of us that have these big routes, complex routes that drag us through different places, we have to now do it in segments rather than having the whole thing added in. So I've just added some more that gets us further around town. Okay, we're going to just get back onto 395 here and see how that goes, and then around the Pentagon, down onto GW Parkway, and then back off the Parkway. There's some really interesting and difficult merges through there, just really awkwardly designed roads. Go all the way back to colonial times, and we just paved over the horse trails. Okay, there again, like, why? It did not need to move over there. There's just still seems to be some robotic elements where it's like it feels it has to be in a specific lane for a reason, even though both lanes go through or both lanes merge or whatever. Ever since 2.2, that's the last version I had, that's really been kind of a weird anomaly. So that is still learning 3, I think. Okay, just back to real time real quick there. This guy just decided he's going to come on over. FSD just very naturally slowed down, didn't overreact. We had a car in the right lane here, not overreacting. The lane we're in now is the lane we want to be in, so that's just fine to be here. So that was really nice. No, this is not what I would be doing. We really should have just stayed where we were. I'm going to call this one still learning mode because it should have just stayed where it was. Now it's got to force itself back over somewhere along the way here. Now hopefully a lot of these will go right. Yep, so it's not going to end up being a problem, but we should have just stayed there. We should already be in this lane. We should be there. We should be there. We're going to get jammed out here by this truck if it doesn't act soon. That is really bad. What's it going to do here? Okay, that's a stupid disengagement. Car should have been in the right lane a half a mile ago, and it didn't. It got out of the right lane instead. Okay, so that's a stupid disengagement. I don't know why. Yeah, anyway, it should have just stayed where it was perfectly positioned, and then it blew it, and then it didn't react until way late. Okay, speed down this run is kind of interesting. I think the speed limit's 45 through here. You got to go faster than that. You can see we're actually being passed anyway, even though we're going 10 over, but that's life here in DC. We need to be over another lane. This lane disappears on us. See when it decides to get out of this lane. Okay, there it is. I would have probably gotten out of that sooner, but that is early enough to not be an issue. Now we're going to go from this 45 mile an hour zone where everyone's going 55 or 60 instantly into a 25 where there's a really awkward merge from cars coming in from the right. We need to go off to the right. There's no merge areas per se, just all really awkward. Is anyone coming up from the left? Yes, there's couple of vehicles coming up from the left. We got to go where that Subaru, I think it is going. Okay, this guy is on the right. See if he ends up coming across. That tends to be something that happens a lot. Okay, that was very nice. It slowed down to stay behind this guy, which was the perfect move. Okay, then it moves over to the lost lane. No cross pedestrians, thankfully. Okay, that handled that pretty well. We're just going to follow traffic around here. Now we're going to go up, and then we got to stay to the right, and then we're going to come back down and get back onto GW Parkway here in a horrible merge. No merge lane, horrible sight lines. The traffic on GW Parkway is typically going 55 or 60. It's really, really awkward. Okay, and this guy does not know what he's doing. But that blinker was not right. It should not have come on. Okay, what do we got? I don't see anything. It looks like we're clear. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, no blinker. And I think this guy's probably lost because you don't come up and then go back down unless you don't know what you're doing. We could go around to the right. It looks like it's going to do that because traffic goes much faster on here than he's driving. It's good. Yep, same condition. So this was fine. There's nothing technically wrong with it, but most people use the far left lane here. All right, so here we're getting out of this construction lane. That was handled nicely, nice and early. Got a good place to merge in there with the cars. Okay, coming up to this left turn, in the past it's gone over too many lanes. It didn't stay in its lane, although it looks like they've added white lane markers here. Okay, that was perfect. Okay, that was a big advancement over the last time I've run this road. All right, we'll get the last few runs. FSD has struggled with this left turn up here in Georgetown. It's a really, it's much more than 90 degrees. So you got to come around. We can be in either this lane or the one right over. It doesn't really matter. It looks like it's going to get over. We have a little bit of an advantage in that we've got other cars in front of us. The stop line is actually way back from the stop light because this other lane where we see the big white van coming from, that really cuts across our lane. So you have to stop way back. All right, so far so good. You can see the yellow lane markings. That's where we need to stay. Good, excellent, nice and slow, very comfortable. Lots of cars around us, so it's just keeping its place. Very good. All right, the light turn is green here. This road is also a road that changes direction. So in the morning, you can't use this route because all the lanes are inbound. In the afternoon, it's outbound. So there are all these weird signs here. We don't have to worry about it. Okay, can it just follow through here? Very nice. Okay, that's another big advancement. Wow. This route I chose because of this light. This lane actually has to shift over. The lane markings are there. This version of FSD doesn't even care. On a previous version of 13, I actually came through here where I was the first in the light, and it worked fine. I was shocked, or maybe it was version 12, I don't know. But it got through there without flinching, just doing what it was supposed to do. Here it could kind of follow the cars, but even without the cars, it seems to be solved. Which is another one of those that I didn't think would be easily solved. And it wasn't. It took a lot of years, but it's there. Okay, here we have a little up and over on a ridge line. We have to be in the right lane. This is a good fix. For some reason, more recent versions had been wanting to get in that left lane. Didn't do that. That was all fine. Perfect there. Okay, speed control will be a big issue through here. It's 35 mile an hour posted. No one drives 35. So we'll see how Automax handles this. Hopefully it'll just kind of follow this car. And we're going to go up to the Beltway now and across the top end of the Beltway. Just want to come back here to real time quick. Previous versions of FSD tended to get into the left lane there, which was horrible. It's this short little passing zone. I don't know why this is here. Oh, okay. I don't know what's going on there. Let's see if it reboots itself here. Yeah, FSD just gave up for some reason. Usually it takes a few minutes to reboot here. Hopefully, I'm just going to pull over here. See if it reboots. Okay. All right, FSD is back. Rebooted itself. Yeah, the FSD computer just bailed on me. That was such a nice run going. All right, I've got this car. Good, right? Good. It's got its left turn signal on ahead of time. Looks like they painted this somewhere. That was perfect. No drama at all, just like normal. And then up and over here, terrible sight lines, good positioning. Now start speeding up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's got its right turn signal on. That's good. Get out of this lane. All right, that's a vast improvement. Speed limit 50 coming up here, still registering 30. We're up to 47. That's nice. Got another Model X coming up on us here. All right, very good. Does it FSD decide to go around this guy or not? Going to stay where he is. That's fine. I have no problem with that. 0.2 miles to the right turn. That's probably why. Yep, it is just the single lane that goes, so that's fine staying here. All right, looks like we got a pretty clean run so far. No real traffic. We're right on the cusp of afternoon rush getting going. I got a little bit of a late start. Car wants to get over a lane. We've got a truck right here, and now a car there. So it sped right on up, found a space. Didn't really need to get out of this lane. Again, it could have just stayed there. This is fine, but that's all good. The bus here is encroaching on our lane. We're right up against our right-hand lane marking. That was nice. And so we're going to go around and see how we do here. So I'm going to fast forward through most of this, I think, and I'll come back to real time when interesting things happen. Yeah, so there again, see, now we're back into the right lane. We could have just stayed there the whole time. So that's another example of kind of this robotic. There are still a few places where it feels very robotic and forced, and that's an example of one. I do see quite dense traffic. All right, FSD is already kind of slowing down, matching the cars in front. Very smooth, completely predictable. We've got a car literally right on our tail, tailgating us, but we're not acting too erratically that they can't react, but they are literally right on us. Version 13 really is nice about not just being like a lane shifter nonstop in heavy traffic. Here it's just kind of stayed this lane. It hasn't tried to move in and out and weave in and out in high density traffic. I really like that. I don't know if Hurry would do that more. I don't use Hurry much. Hurry might do that a little more. Hurry would definitely try to stay in the left lane. So I appreciate this. We're not going anywhere fast in this traffic, so we'll just work our way through it, and it's doing just that. Okay, back to real time real quick here. Just want to comment about how absolutely buttery smooth it began to slow down as this traffic was much slower in front of us. It detected that really early and just glided into the new traffic speed. Just absolutely perfect, really. You may have noticed that we sat behind that truck for a few miles. This is something I wish FSD wouldn't do. When you're behind a truck, you're just asking for a rock to the windshield. So I wish it wouldn't sit behind trucks, but that is not currently in its repertoire. It will just hang out there forever. All right, we are trying to get down onto the BW Parkway. So it's planning ahead to get over. got its signal on, waited till there was a gap. That's great. We are well into the correct lane for this exit, which is great. Totally the right thing to do. You could probably jam your way forward, but this is the right thing. That's definitely an improvement. All right, and as we get down and make our exit onto BW Parkway here, really speed management is the core issue on BW Parkway. Trying to figure out what is the right speed to go is just, a nightmare because the posted limit's way below what people actually drive. And there are segments in here where they're going, 30 over the posted. So we'll see how FSD handles it. Again, I've got 40% offset per their recommendation. So we'll see how it does. So far on this run, speed's been quite good. It got up to 70 on the Beltway there in that one part, which was kind of really the upper end of where I would like to let it go, which is why I run it at 20% in real life. But 70 was not horrible for those traffic conditions. All right, welcome back. Just a quick comment here. This is where the speed limit drops to 45. No one slows down through here, though. I don't ever really feel comfortable driving this speed, but it is the speed that people drive. And it's going to go around. Is it actually going to go around this guy, or is it going to hold here? Yeah, see, it's going to climb up. We still have not. Okay, it's going to hold here at 64, 65. We're not on auto max, so we're not 40% over, which would be, 23 miles an hour? So 68 theoretically would be auto max limit here. 63 feels pretty good to me. We stay left here at the split. And notice the traffic camera right here. So there's a traffic camera, so it'll be interesting to see what speed it drives there. I think the speed limit there is 50. So notice we haven't really been passing anyone, and we just got passed even though we're doing 65. It's just don't understand where we are in this country at this point with speed limits. It just seems like anything is fair game. Okay, slow down a little bit, 55. This is good through here. We can be in the left lane, we can be here. A lot of merging in. The right lane actually just is a new lane, it doesn't even merge. Coming up to this slow traffic that we see on the navigation, we would prefer to be into the left lane. Not absolutely essential though. So we're still doing 58. I'm going to stay with traffic through here on the assumption that this should all be local business day traffic, so they should know what'll get you a ticket and what won't coming up to this camera. We're down to 52. Okay, it does say the speed limit is 50 here, which is what I understood it to be, which is crazy that it's higher than BW Parkway we were just on. And much more dense traffic. So we're right on speed, a little slow. There's the ding for the traffic camera. I think it's at the bridge. I can't remember exactly where it is. Again, my preference would be to be in the left lane because everyone in the right lane here stays in the right lane and goes jamming forward and then has to jam themselves over when they lose the lane. So generally the left lane's a little better, a little less stressful. All right, heading into cut across DC to get back to Virginia. So, yep, so all good here. This is the perfect lane. This should just take us right around. We'll see how speed does through here, and then in the high density traffic that you see on the map, as DC is already getting going to get out of town. Wants to be over a lane, that's good. It gives this guy room anyway. It doesn't technically need to get out of that lane, but this is actually a better lane to be in. Perfectly fine with that. Nice slow down there. This is a comfortable speed around this bend. All right. Got the Penske truck coming over. All right, very good. This is a good speed coming up on our traffic up ahead here. I don't see it slowing down just yet. Interesting. Wants to be over a lane. I would just stay here personally. And now it's decided to take the turn signal off. It wants to get over again. I don't know why. I can't really do it. And then it really wants to be over for some reason. There's no reason it needs to be. Okay. Anyway, it's here. This is the worst of the lanes that go through. Okay, I don't know why now it decides it wants to be in another lane. Again, we would have been better just stay where we were. I don't know if it's the blinker in front of us, if that's triggering it, or if it actually is using the blinker as an indication we're staying left at this split. No, it actually wants to get over. Okay. Wish it would have just stayed there. Now back to the center lane again. Oh, jeez, it should have just stayed in the center lane. You saw how it went back and forth between the center lane and the right lane. It would have been far better had it just got in the center lane and stayed there, stayed out of all of those merging lanes. But instead, it was like, for whatever reason, it kind of felt robotic again, like it had to be in that right lane at those various points when it really had no obligation to do so whatsoever. All right, now we're going to go out 66, so we're going to go out the sometimes HOV lanes and the toll road to see how it handles toll gates and how it handles 66. 66 has been a really, I don't know what's going on with it, but it just doesn't work well on 66 at all. See if version 13 is any better. All right, so now we're going to come up here, we're going to make an exit onto Route 1, go around the Pentagon, and then out 66. Okay, this guy's going to have to get over. Oh, nice job. So FSD could have been a little more aggressive there. Let's see what this car does. They're holding ground. Good. Right, reroute. Oh, there we go. See, I think now it went not on 66 because I think it is HOV lanes now. I think the HOV lanes start at 2 o'clock. So we'll confirm that. Let me turn the HOV lanes on. Turn on use HOV lanes. There we go. And now we're on 66. So that's what we wanted. This little join onto 66 has always been a little difficult for FSD for some reason. Let's see, we come under the bridge, we have to come up a little hill, and then we have to get over a lane. So the HOV lane, I'm going to count that as yet another mapping issue. Which I think that's like mapping issue 3 or 4. Okay, that's nice. It got into its ongoing lanes. This is all good. Oh, there's more construction here. Okay, before we go to time lapse, I just want to describe what usually happens on 66 here is somewhere along the way, FSD will get moved over into the left lane, and then it never gets out of the left lane, no matter what. It's like it doesn't know there's another lane. It's really crazy. So I'm just going to go into time lapse here. Wow, holy cow, that's much earlier. As soon as that white line went to dashed, it was over. That's perfect. In the early days, it would not change lanes until basically the road was actually splitting. Could have stayed in the left lane, fine getting over to the right lane. So FSD didn't attempt any lane change on 66 at all. That was totally fine for the traffic conditions. So we don't know, I don't know if it has been fixed or if now it's just not even moving into the left lane at all. So we'll have to see in some future run when we have more running room on that road what its behavior will be. But anyway, that was better because it's far worse to be stuck in the left lane there, because when people want to move on 66, they move. All right, I'll see you out at the toll booths. Oh, look at this. Hardly can see the lane markings at all. But FSD is just holding itself really nicely. Slowing down a little bit. That's nice. I like that. And up we go again. Okay, see you at the next toll booth. All right, back again here to talk about speed. You know, again, our auto max is set to 40% over. So that would be 5.5 times 4 would be, so 22. So 77 ostensibly is where it would tap out. But you can see it's going all the way up to 73, 74. You know, again, this is not, doesn't make me particularly comfortable, but then again, we're not exactly passing people. We're kind of with flow of traffic. So this is just, as I always say, it's the conundrum of what speed FSD should actually drive. I mean, I don't think you're going to get a speeding ticket with just following traffic here. Now we're kind of in the middle lane, just flowing with these guys. All right, coming up to the Hunter Mill toll booth. So this used to always have gates, but at least the last time I was here, the little control shack was still there with narrow lanes. We'll see if that has come out. Still got the awning, so the lane will be kind of narrow. We can be in either lane, left or right. Doesn't matter. Hopefully we'll come slowing down here. We've got these cars that are going to slow us down anyway. It'll be interesting to know what speed it would go without that. Ooh, very close to that curb though. Okay, we're positioned well here. We're going to just make a run down Hunter Mill Road now to Oakton. This is in the route because it crosses a very actively used bike path that is really kind of awkward. The bicyclists on there come flying across with no sight line. And it's just we've got some roundabout, a little roundabout on there. And it's just kind of a suburban road. Which is good test compared to what we've been on. Yeah, so get rid of this waypoint. And we're winding down. Just a few more tests to go. Don't go. The light did not turn green. They were still red. Okay, there you go. Now it's green. That's odd. I've seen that behavior once or twice before. It's like using other cues and then it just forgets to stay focused or something. I don't know. Okay. That's why we run these tests. All right, here's the bike crossing right here. You've got the warning lights. I don't see anyone. Just a very, very nice instant detection of that yellow light, and just a totally smooth slowdown appropriate for the speed and the situation. Here is our little traffic circle. FSD has gotten like so freaking good in traffic circles. I assume it's just going to do fine through here. It's just, yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Just, it nails traffic circles now. Okay, the last time I came through here on this run, it did not get into the correct left turn lane at that next traffic light for some reason. Let's see how it does today. It has to be over. If I recall correctly, the center lane goes right. Okay, so it's going to be fine today. Watch that curb. Fine. Okay. Now we need to be in the right lane up here. Oh yeah, much better than before. Oftentimes I just waited too long. Yeah, it's much better at that now. The last time we were through here, FSD failed at this little right-left, which was interesting, because that's not always been the case. But so far it's feeling good. Yep, that feels good. This feels good. No worries there. Got a school bus stopped up ahead there. Get ready to get rid of this waypoint. Good. As soon as we turn right, get rid of it. Very good. Now we're going to go down to this ridiculous left turn, unprotected left turn. Sight lines are horrible. Be particularly interesting at this time of day, on a weekday, to see if it makes any difference. Speed control good here. 25-mile-an-hour speed limit. Stop sign. Yep, all good there. Stop. Oh yeah, we got a little bit of a wait up there, so it'd be interesting to see how FSD does in comparison to others who are trying to turn left. Positioning here. The BMW is going to go right. Mr. Mercedes, he's going to see how he's inching way out there. It's the only thing you can do. You got to be able to see. He's kind of right where as far out as he can get. go. Okay, let's see if we creep up a little bit now, or if they're going to wait for FSD might be waiting for these pedestrians on our left. I'm not sure what they're going to do. Okay, now it's okay. Detected they're not coming across. Creeps up. Now we got a good sight line here. Tons of traffic on our left. Can't go anywhere. It's going to be a little while. Looks like we got a school zone too that's active. That'll be interesting. Ooh, that car jumped out. It'd have to be really aggressive. And it's going to do it. Oh, how about that? And yes, we have a school zone here. 25 miles an hour. Is it going to slow down? It is slowing down. Okay. Can't be absolutely sure of that, but yes, it felt like it slowed down to an appropriate speed for that school zone. Hot diggity. That's a first experience for me. Now we're going to come down to this area right in here. It gets really weird. So it really needs to be in the left lane for the left turn way back here. Traditionally, it's waited till right to the end to get over, and it's also had some weird behaviors through here. So we'll see how it handles that little juncture today. All right, very nice down here. Is it going to go? It's going to go through the stale yellow. I think that was fine. It was right on the edge. Had time to stop if it, you know, and I probably would have stopped, but it was fine. Okay, left signal on already. Very good. So it was in the correct left lane, then it got into this left turn, and we're going to miss this light, aren't we? Come on, FSD, go. All right, well, we made that. That's nice. Watch this curb. Ooh, see, that curb's taking some hits. Now we're going to run in 50 and then back to the supercharger. Okay, FSD's giving them room, but they're not going to take it. Are you going to go or not? Oh my gosh, they're sitting on their phone. And FSD was ultra courteous. Way more courteous than I would have been. Wow. Just going to merge onto southbound 495 here. There is quite a lot of intersecting traffic here. It's going to go right through that, isn't it? Ah. Potholes. When are they going to add pothole detection? Adding that one to still learning. Drove right through it. All right, very nice job here, not waiting to the very last second to merge over. Pushes itself in just into a very small gap. The guy left for us just enough room to get in, and so it took it and didn't get skittish or squeamish, not being one of these jerks that are just trying to jam up on the right side, gain themselves 3 car spots, and make everyone else upset. Okay, very good. We've got another guy coming out. Oh, he's going to back off. He could have jammed forward one more. Now we've got to merge in one more lane. Got these guys also moving over. A lot of these will be merging to where we are. See how we do here. Still waiting for the white line to end. There's the turn signal. I don't know what this bolt is doing. Okay, there it is. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Now it's going to go over another lane here. Good. That's great. Welcome back. We're going to now navigate to the Springfield Supercharger, and looks like there's all. So this is the route it almost always uses. There's actually another route that comes down along here that positions you better to get over to the Springfield Mall. So that's another mapping error, and it looks like it's still not corrected. I'm going to let it go. I will, it can still do what it's going to do, but it makes it harder. So we'll see how it goes. I'll call it a mapping error, but then I'm going to also, we'll see if I have to end up intervening to help it get over all the lanes that it needs to do in heavier traffic. So we're going to take exit 57A, and you'll see a sign up here that says for westbound or eastbound, I think it is, take B, but we'll see here in a second. No, we don't want that one. Maybe it's, yeah, see, Franconia West 644 East would be the better one to use, and that's 69A. But we're not going to take 69A. We're going to end up taking this first one. See, 69A would be straight ahead. We're going to be on 69B, which now means we're going to get down around here. We've got to go across like 3 or 4 lanes of traffic to get into the correct lane that'll go to the Cloverleaf for 644 East. Generally, it's not a problem, but again, there is a ramp specifically to get you where the routing is going to go, instead of being on the other side of all of the lanes. So we'll see what happens. Pretty much as soon as the white line ends, it should be starting to make its way over. So there's the first one. It's got room. It's got to go 2 more, I believe. So 1 more. And then it's got to go 1 more yet. And hopefully it'll just stay here. Yep. And sure enough, the mapping problem is still here. Notice it's showing to go in here. You cannot, that's blocked off. You can't do that. So that is a non-viable route. And no matter how many times we've all reported it, it will still require a disengagement. We'll see if it gives us another option we can select. Sometimes it'll give us other routes in as we get closer. It is giving us another option. So that route will work. So we'll try that one. All right, the last segment. It is showing 5 currently available. I don't quite believe that, but we'll see if there are and if it can back in. I believe that is the first time it's offered me a route that'll work on the way in. Go. right, coming around the corners, going a little slow, but that's okay. See what it'll do here. Now showing 4 available. On the corner, there is certainly a stall right there. There are some available, including the handicapped, which is the one I would like to use. There are 4. Will it park here? It's going to try. It's positioned itself horribly for that, though. That was a horrible job. Horrible job. FSD. FSD needs... I don't understand. It is a horrible job parking. It was going to try, though. Okay, with that, we end this run pretty darn good with just a few quirks along the way and a bunch of mapping issues. So thanks for coming along with me. This was FSD 13.2.7 and on the big loop, about 110 miles total. Talk to you soon. Bye.